Welcome to the It's Been Said podcast. I'm your host, Executive Director Lisa Ramey. Today's episode is a special edition of the It's Been Said podcast. Dr. Dana Schon, Associate Executive Director of Professional Learning, will discuss her perspective on leadership life fit. She'll offer her insights on this topic periodically over the coming months. Let's hear from Dana.
Hello, this is Dana Schon, Associate Executive Director of Professional Learning with School Administrators of Iowa. Our focus for this Leadership Life Fit podcast is rest. It does seem like a Captain Obvious moment to say we need rest, yet it's another example where I find a fairly significant knowing-doing gap, particularly for myself. Last weekend, for example, my husband and I sat down to watch a movie. And no kidding, not even 10 minutes later, I'm up off the couch and cleaning a window that I happened to glance over and see a great big handprint on. I sat back down, only to notice some dust bunnies on a side table. So again, I hop up, grab the dust cloth, at which point my husband says, "What is wrong with you?" And I timidly confessed, "Well, you know I'm not a good rester." Yet I know that rest is vitally important to a quality leadership life fit, and most certainly to our overall well-being. And so today we're going to delve into the nature of rest, and in particular, our body's rhythms related to productivity and rest. Let's start with our body's natural rhythm, the circadian rhythm. So many of you have heard the word circadian rhythm before. It's your body's 24-hour clock, keeps you on that healthy wake-sleep cycle. Well, interestingly, your body also has a natural productivity rest cycle known as your ultradian rhythm. Ultradian means many times a day, and rhythm refers to patterns. So your ultradian rhythm is your cycle of energy production, output, and recovery repeated throughout the day. When I think about our ultradian rhythm, oftentimes we get caught in the energy production and output, but we fail at the recovery, i.e., rest component of that cycle. We disregard our body's messages to ourselves to take a break and rest. I'm going to say more about that here in just a moment, but first, let's break down this idea of an ultradian rhythm. What does that mean? What is an ultradian rhythm? Well, your ultradian rhythm is a series of 90 to 120 minute cycles. During that first part of the cycle, that first 90 minutes or so, 50, 60, 90 minutes, it's different for each one of us, somewhere between 90 and 120 minutes for each of us. During those first 90 minutes, I'm revved up, I'm focused, I've got energy, I'm really working hard on whatever task I have in front of me. And then at about the 90 to 120 minute mark, I've reached that peak of performance, and now my body starts sending me signals that it's time to rest. It's time to take a break so that I can refuel and be ready to go for that next cycle. But unfortunately, what happens is I tend to override that cycle. I think, well, I'll just power through. I've got this. I'm on a roll. And what happens then to us is at the end of the day, we have no energy left to do the other things that bring us joy and contribute to a quality leadership life fit. So, what's exactly happening from a physiological, biological perspective in terms of our ultradian rhythm? Well, we start our day with lots of oxygen, glucose, other energetic fuels ready to go. And we start burning through those within those 60 to 90 minutes. And we're at that top of our productivity cycle. We're in that ultradian performance peak. Meanwhile, all of our metabolic waste, our data snippets floating around in our brains, cellular debris, those things are building up in our system as we work. And so as it continues to accumulate, we experience it symptomatically as stress. And so our productivity, our performance start to decline as we enter into that ultradian trough, that energetic low point. And you know what this feels like. You start to feel fatigued, maybe you get a little crabby, you're distracted, you might reach for your phone, you're hungry, all of a sudden you have an attack of carb craving like you can't believe, you're fidgety, maybe your eyes glaze over and you're just really unfocused. Maybe you're feeling this sudden need, oh my gosh, I've got to have a cup of coffee or I need to grab a Red Bull. You need that hit of caffeine. And perhaps you look at the clock and you say, oh my gosh, I can't even believe it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. How am I going to get through the rest of the day? I'm already losing it, right? That is your body's warning system activated. It's queuing you up. It's saying what you really need right now is a break. Now, a lot of research would speak to the fact that, oh, a 20-minute break would be great. Well, yes, a 20-minute break would be great. But the reality is, as a busy school leader with many demands and many, hey, have you got a minute? Have you got a minute? Have you got a minute? You're going to be lucky to grab 5 to 10 minutes. But 5 to 10 minutes can really shift how you experience the rest of your day. During that simple 5 minutes, when you truly separate yourself from all that was on your mind, you are giving your body a chance to refuel your energy, rebalance your blood sugar, that biochemistry, detox a little bit, and repair some damaged tissue. It seems weird, right? That, oh my gosh, really all that can happen in 5 to 10 minutes? Yes, it really can. You're giving your brain a break too to consolidate whatever thinking you were doing, to make more sense of it, to align it to the schema that it uses to sort through all of the experience and information it's taking in all day long. And so when you do this, when you take a few deep breaths, step away from whatever it is you're working on, you're letting your body engage in that rest or healing response that's a significant part of your ultradian rhythm. But when we start to ignore that, can we still be productive? We can. And this is what happens to us. I'm still productive, but instead of taking the 5 minutes to write that email that it would take first thing in the morning, for example, it takes me 20 to 30 to 40 minutes as my energy has been drained. But yet I push forward thinking time is of essence. I need to make the most of my time. And so repeatedly over time, as we fail to honor our body's ultradian rhythm, it actually has significant impact on our overall health, mental well-being, and general well-being. Think about this. If I am repeatedly keeping my car in overdrive or running it in a lower gear and don't maintain it, it's going to fail. Our vehicle's probably faster than our bodies. Our bodies are amazingly resilient. But the message is when I'm constantly using something to its maximum capacity without offering it any maintenance, think about not going in for your regular oil checks on your vehicle. It's going to break down sooner. All right, so what does this mean? How do I honor my body's ultradian rhythms? Where do I even start? Start by tuning into your body's signals that you need a break. Spend some time this week noticing at what point 90 minutes, 80, 100, 120, where do you find that your attention starts to waver, that you start to have some brain fog, you're losing focus, you start yawning, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even keep my eyes open, or you feel a little bit irritated, or you're starting to make some errors that you wouldn't otherwise make, or you actually have to go to the bathroom, but you override it because you want to finish that project. Notice those things and then honor your body's cue by taking a break. And I'll talk about some things you can do to refuel and honor that process, that healing process that happens in terms of eliminating all of that cellular waste that's happening while your body's being so productive. Another thing you might think about is setting your watch for a 90-minute energy check and maybe noticing first thing in the morning, where's your energy? Where's your cognitive energy, the energy of focus this morning? And then maybe 60 minutes in, maybe you start there. Where's my energy? Or maybe you do wait 90 minutes. Okay, what am I noticing? Oh my gosh, my energy. I went from a 9.5 down to a 6. Okay, take care. Take care of you. Where is that energy? And are you sliding into that ultradian trough where you've expended the amount of energy and it's time to refuel? By the way, that usually happens within 2 hours of starting your workday, and then 2 hours after lunch. You generally experience an ultradian trough. As I mentioned, 20 minutes would be an ideal break, but any break, even 5 or 10, is better than nothing. The longer break that you can afford, and again, totally get this. I don't know when I ever would have had a 20-minute break, but maybe every now and then you can steal that extra 5 or 10 minutes. Just know that when you can, the more repair and replenishing work that your body is doing. So if you've been sitting, give yourself give yourself a chance to get up and move. If you've been moving, give yourself a chance to enjoy some stillness. If it's that you've been hyper intent on the work that's in front of you, maybe you're working on an evaluation, maybe you're working on a board report, give your brain a chance to shut that out for a moment. So, what are some examples that you can do in that 10, 15, 20 minutes or however long you can manage, right? Even 2 to 3 minutes reaps benefits. You might refill your coffee or fill your water bottle and actually enjoy drinking it a few sips by a few sips. Maybe you grab a healthy snack and walk away from your desk, go eat it somewhere else outside if it happens to be nice, but somewhere that you won't be sucked into thinking about a work task. If it's nice, oh my goodness, being out in nature, taking a stroll around can be really helpful. Notice I said stroll, not a brisk walk to get your heart rate up. Your point is to get your heart rate down a little bit. Sometimes just maybe looking out your window, what are you noticing today? What's the most vivid color you see in front of you? Is there anything unusual out your window today that you haven't otherwise noticed? I know many of you have heard me talk about box breathing. Take a minute to close your eyes and spend 2 to 3 minutes box breathing. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. You might visit with a colleague or a friend. You might text somebody a note of gratitude. Maybe you text 3 people a note of gratitude or send an email of gratitude. And, the Calm app, Insight Timer, even YouTube has some guided meditations that are really brief that you might try if you're getting started in that space, or maybe you have a go-to already. Maybe some calming music. Maybe you just had to clean out a desk drawer. I mean, sometimes that can really help refuel and reset your energy. Maybe you need to do some stretching if your body's been stuck in the same position all day. Any of these ideas can readily fit into a 10-minute, 5-minute break. And know that each time you honor your body's warning system to take a break, your body's repairing, rebalancing, replenishing, reorganizing, detoxifying, all these things that then give you the energy to move on to the next thing that's important in your day and the next thing that's important in your day. So, again, thinking about the different opportunities you have to honor your ultradian rhythm throughout the day can position you to have sustained energy and fuel throughout the day as well. And that is what contributes to a quality leadership life fit. You can learn more about ultradian rhythms by accessing www.bluezones.com. On this site, you'll find a variety of different tools and resources that reiterate what we've been talking about today. Have a fantastic day, and here's to pursuing the quality leadership life fit you deserve.